All right, what's up, everybody? You see Alan, Reggie, Michelle Henry. Good to see everybody. Melissa White, what's going on? It has been a while indeed. Trust you've been doing well. Spiffy is here. Lee says welcome from Perth, Australia. What's up? I'm going to be taking you guys down to Rockefeller Center to see the Christmas tree. I think they did a really good job this year putting it up, so we'll go down there and check it out. Harry, what's going on? Nighthawk. My favorite things. Cheers. This is the corner of 5th Avenue and 57th Street. Hey, Leanne, what's going on? Check out the LVMH building. This thing is so unique. And this is the Tiffany windows, which they've done a really good job on. The facade is all decorated, and you could even hear some audio too. Joe Ratz, Chris, hey everybody. Alfred, welcome. I think they did a pretty good job this year. I was actually in Tiffany's today, looking around. JC, what's going on? Gary Carpenter. I think pretty soon they're gonna light this guy up too. Right here, hanging in the middle of 57th Street. It's like a big kind of snowflake. But this is the coolest thing by far on 5th Avenue. Is the Louis Vuitton store, completely wrapped. Super unique. Let's go and head downtown. Professor Dario, welcome. Victor C, Sunshine After Rain, welcome. These are the holiday windows at Tiffany's. Hey, Troy Atman, thank you so much. Congrats to you as well. We're going to be talking about the market a lot tomorrow in our Markets a Look Ahead stream. S&P's pretty much been gapping up every day. I think some of those gaps will be filled, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But tonight we're just going to be kind of walking around Midtown Manhattan, checking out all the holiday stuff. What do you guys think of the Tiffany windows this year? I think it's pretty unique. Tons of traffic on 5th Avenue. Connie Ruiz, good to see you. Alan says this time of year makes me happy. Same here, same here. It's definitely very festive in the city, for sure. This is the Crown building here. I'm sure you can kind of hear the audio from Tiffany, but this is the Amman, New York hotel. So for the windows, they have the speakers right above the windows. So kind of the decorations will play with the audio. You guys have to, if you're coming to New York, you got to go inside Tiffany. It's insane. So on the first floor, there's no windows. The windows are actually like big TV screens. And it plays the entire New York City skyline, but during the holidays. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool experience. It's almost like virtual reality experience. This is the Gucci store holiday windows. Hike Scenic, what's going on? Welcome to New York. We're going to be checking out a lot of the holiday stuff today, as well as the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. And I woke up early. I actually went to the, I guess you can call it the ceremony, where they put up the Christmas tree. It was kind of cool watching it. They had this big crane lifting it into place. It was really cool. It was awesome to see. And that's where we're going to head to right now. But first, we'll just do the quick audio and visual check. If you guys can hear us and if we're streaming in 1080p, just go ahead and leave a thumbs up in the chat and we'll get started. Just want to make sure the audio is good for everybody. Esmeralda, good to see you. Right here outside Trump Tower, across from Prada, Bergdorf Goodman. What a crazy week, right? I feel as if things are finally starting to settle down. I think next week's going to be a pretty pivotal week to just kind of, I think we're going to feel like a major temperature shift in the country, not only politically, but just everything, which is going to be good. I feel like the pressure's off a lot of people now. The election's over. Nobody's going to be getting hit with these political advertisements anymore. Just in time for the holidays for us to chill. Hey, Sarah is here. What's up? I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Walks in Wall Street. Today is a beautiful Saturday evening in New York. We're standing outside the St. Regis Hotel as well as the Peninsula Hotel. And the main theme of tonight, we're going to be checking out the 2024 Rockefeller Center Christmas tree that just arrived today. I think it arrived to the city at 7 a.m. and they installed it or put it up right around 9 o'clock in the morning. Looks pretty good. I was there early just to kind of check it out because usually every year I don't go to the, watch them put it in place. So I'm like, my office is all but a few blocks away. Might as well check it out. And I'm glad I did because it was actually kind of fun. It was cool. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. Alan says, did you film a standalone video of it? I did. I'll probably upload it tomorrow. I have a short kind of little video of it, but it was a cool experience. Kind of cool seeing it. This is the University Club to our right. Israel, what's going on? It looks like they've taken down all the scaffolding on the facade of the University Club too. We'll quickly check that out. This is a really, really nice building in New York. Hey, New England Crypto, what's going on? Always a pleasure. Kimberly says, hello, Tom. Long time no see. Thanks for joining us again. Happy holidays. It's, I guess you could say it's the official start of the holiday season in New York City. Rockefeller Center Christmas trees here. Maybe we'll go down to Herald Square, Macy's, and check it out. City's going to be looking very festive, which is nice. I'm curious to see if they put anything on the Cartier store yet. Perhaps not. JC says not to talk politics, but do we have a clear majority in the House of Representatives yet? I'm honestly not too sure. I'll have to look into it. This weekend, I really didn't look at anything political this weekend. I just tried to relax as much as possible. I was just hanging out in New York. There was an interesting article in Investors Business Daily today about lithium and EVs. So if anybody's interested in electric vehicles, which pretty much, judging based upon our conversations we have, almost everybody is, that was a really good cover story talking about lithium mines in the U.S. and globally. This is St. Thomas Church. Beautiful here. I like this view looking uptown. But yeah, maybe Sunday night, tomorrow night during the Markets a Look Ahead stream, we'll touch on that a little bit more. But yeah, a lot of the lithium mining companies have been getting killed. But if you think about the main components in electric vehicles, lithium is up there. And it's good news that the United States has plenty of lithium. So check out the article. I think you'll like it. Hey, Joanne, good to see you. Welcome. That's the Abercrombie and Fitch. Didn't the owner or the CEO of Abercrombie just get in some hot water recently? Wasn't there some issues there? Or some allegations or whatnot? Here's the Ferragamo store. Oh, it does look like there's something on the facade. Cartier. We'll try to take a stroll through some of the windows. Someone says the former CEO, I think. Yeah, very disturbing stuff I was reading about briefly. Now, on the corner of East 52nd Street, it does. So let's cross on this side of the street, and then maybe we'll see them putting up the display. My favorite, I think, was 3 years ago. They had this big Jaguar on the side. I'm not too sure I can make out what's on it right now, but it looks to be something. You guys see that on the facade? It's like a gold trim. It's obviously not complete yet, but it looks like they're at least just starting to put up the holiday display. Hey, Allie, good to see you. Carl Roths, Tom, the tree is nice. I think the tree looks really good. The interesting thing, though, is when they were putting it up this morning, it looks, obviously they had to, drive it here all wrapped up. It looks like it took a pretty big beating, I guess, on the drive, which is understandable. It doesn't look as full as in the photos, if that makes sense, from when they originally cut it down. But they'll probably pretty it up here soon nonetheless. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it very, very much. And thank you for watching. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of people here tonight checking out the Christmas tree, so we may have a little bit of buffering issues. We'll see. Who knows? DC322, what's going on? Always a pleasure. Vincent, welcome. Jimmy B, as always. And here we are at the famous St. Patrick's Cathedral. Hank P, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Marcelo says hello from Argentina. Good to see you, Marcelo. I should be back in Little Buenos Aires in about 2 weeks' time here in
it should be like
Miami, Florida. One of my favorite places in Miami-Dade, Little Buenos Aires. Hey, Mike, New York. This holiday season in NYC is always amazing. Indeed it is. So far, St. Patrick's doesn't have anything up yet, but usually they have some sort of decorative display outside. Still looks good though. The facade looks very bright and polished. I know DC322 says after all the negativity going on currently, those holiday decorations make us feel good. Yeah, I think people are just over the election nonsense. I'm totally over it. I think we can get back to some sort of normalcy now, which is good. And this also doesn't look like there's anything on the facade either. This is Saks Fifth Avenue. You still have the American flags here, but this is usually the best and most anticipated holiday / Christmas display right on the facade of Saks Fifth Avenue on the corner of East 50th Street and 5th Avenue. All right, let's see if we start to get any buffering. There was a lot of tourists out in the city today, too, which is good. I think this is going to be the most trafficked and touristed, if that's even a word, holiday season in New York City history. You're probably going to have some of the highest hotel rates. Hey, you're probably going to have some of the highest hotel rates in the city's history. All right, what do you guys think? Wow, it looks a lot different than this morning. This morning the tree was all wrapped up. It looked very, very thin, but it looks good. Looks really good. Let's get a little bit closer so we could see them building the scaffolding. Obviously, the next step now is to essentially decorate the tree with the lights. But I mean, at first glance, man, this looks nice. It looks really good. I wish somebody took a time-lapse video of the construction workers putting up this scaffolding, because I was here this morning at 8 a.m. Obviously, none of this scaffolding was here. And my God, this went up in literally like 10 hours. It took them 10 hours to build this whole big monstrosity around the tree. But let me know what you guys think at first glance. What are your thoughts? Hey, Diamond Soul is here. Cheers. Thanks for joining us. I see Check the Logic is here. Lance's looks smaller than last year. Really? I think it looks a little bit bigger than last year. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think it looks bigger than last year. I don't know. I mean, we could probably Google if it is, in fact, bigger or smaller or whatnot than last year. Let's see if we'll be able to walk around. I wonder when they're going to bring down the Wall Street tree right outside of the New York Stock Exchange. Carl Roth says it's going to be bigger this year. Hey, Hawaii, what's up? Just can't wait to see the tree in person. It looks great. It looks really, really great. I was at the kind of like the first look as they were putting up the tree this morning. It was a cool experience. I've actually never done it before. I never went. You could see the tree better from afar because up close it's just pretty much you're looking at all scaffolding. But it is here nonetheless. And then here you can see the ice skating rink. Doesn't look like anybody's skating now. Maybe they're just clearing the ice, perhaps. Oh, Peter, I didn't know that. It's crazy to think all of this construction work for a tree, right? Look at that. Let me stand across the street just so you guys could see the tree a little bit better, because right now it's all scaffolding. Again, this is Rockefeller Plaza. So much has changed just over the last year. I mean, not the last year. Oh my God, what am I saying? Over the last 2 weeks, Rockefeller Plaza has turned from an election watch party now to a holiday display. This store is kind of cool. All right, let's see how it looks from afar. A little bit better shot. I think the best one we had of the night was looking from 5th Avenue, but it's cool. Yeah, Ivan's is so cool seeing them put it up. DC 322 says, Tom, the Wall Street Christmas tree will be up on December 5th. Nice. Maybe we'll have to go down there. We'll have to take a trip all the way down there. I want to go back to Peter's comments. Peter says, sad news about the rock tree is that the wife of the family that owned the tree loved Christmas more than anything, but died shortly before they picked their tree for Rockefeller Center. She never knew. Ah, that sucks. Well, at least he got picked, right? I mean, look on the bright side. We'll stand back a little bit further. Looks like this is some sort of a food truck. Damn, it looks better from further away. I'm very curious to see how it's going to look with all the lights on. Maybe I'll try to go to the tree lighting ceremony this year, but not a huge fan of crowds. And this is one of the most crowded events. You know, Rockefeller Center tree lighting. Let's go to the front of Radio City now. Carla, cheers. I also want to go down to Herald Square. I think they're just starting to kind of put together the famous Macy's windows too. Fun fact for all of you, I forget which year, but one of the years, my uncle was the crane operator who put up the tree. He works in Local 14, Union of Operating Engineers. I forget what year he did it, but he did do it one year. Since we can go down this way, we might as well. There's a lot that goes into this. I mean, with all these construction workers, you would think they're putting up, 270 Park, but all of these workers, all of this scaffolding working around the clock for the tree, it's kind of cool. This is the inside of Rockefeller Center. A little quick peek. We're not allowed to film in there, but this is what the tree looks like from the backside. So if you remember from the election night live stream, I showed you that little kind of a bronze spot where it said, this spot marks for the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. That's where they put it every year. Hey, what's up, Junior? Good to see you. This is now West 49th Street. We'll take one more quick look at it from this side. Hey, Joel PM, good to see you. Dash, I was there 20 minutes ago. What did you think? I mean, they put this scaffolding up pretty fast. This morning there was none of this. It's like, it kind of just shows you what they can do with some urgency. Pretty cool. Hey, Sabrina, what's up? We'll cross the street to go back. We'll get one more look of it from the other side. Oh, that's right. All of this snow that you see here, I think there was some event. It was like a family event from 10 a.m. to, I think, 2 p.m. it was on. And they actually made snow, and I think people could go sledding and stuff. For like little kids, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. I think this angle may be the best to kind of see the tree. And then I'll kind of pan up at 30 Rockefeller Center. I know Hawaii says it looks so tall. It definitely looks a lot fuller than last year. I remember the one kind of thing I said about it last year was that the tree looked like a bit thin, and the New York Stock Exchange tree looked a lot better, but maybe I think this year we're going to get a really, really good tree. At least that's what it looks like. I know KJ says, wow, Christmas time is upon us again. Time goes fast. It's crazy. I remember doing these live streams and thinking it's August. It's insane. And pretty soon before you know it, guys, it's going to be Thanksgiving like tomorrow, okay? Like literally. But if you guys are enjoying the first look, I should say the first nighttime look of the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center, feel free to leave a like on the video. Click the subscribe button if you're new. We'll do one more kind of walk around Fifth Avenue just so we can make one more pass. And then we'll check out the Christmas tree on top of Radio City. And then we'll head down towards 34th Street, Herald Square, and kind of look at all the stuff that's going on down there. Yeah, this is all the snow that they made for the event today. Hey, Cynthia Avis is my daughter's good friends and family. Had their tree picked in 2017, really? That's crazy. All right, we'll make this left, and then we'll go back around, and we'll do one more pass at it. Hey, Pineapple Water's here. Cheers. Photos from around New York. There's only 204 days until June 1st. Warm days are just around the corner. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. But I have no complaints this year. I really do not have any complaints this year. It's been quite literally. I mean, we've had our fair share of 70-degree days in October. And today was a pretty good weather day, too. Weather-wise, it was really good. Ooh, Hawaii, it was 83. Yeah, where you are in Hawaii. That's great. But I think this is the best year, weather-wise, in New York, at least for the fall. It's almost as if we didn't even have fall. It was like summer weather. I was wearing a t-shirt last week. It was really nice. Looks like H&M has a little bit of a holiday display here. I see Paul. What's going on? Esmeralda says people do look cold. I mean, most of the day today was fine. It's just at night. It gets a little bit windy at night. Rhonda says, do you smell the smoke? I smelled something this morning. What was going on? I'm so out of touch with the news, but when I walked out of the office today, 575 Madison, I could almost like taste smoke in the air. Was something big going on today? I don't know. I just chalked it up to their paving the road right outside my office. But so this angle, what we're looking at right now, is Saks Fifth Avenue. This is going to be the most anticipated holiday display. Wow, wildfires in New Jersey. That's crazy. And in Prospect Park? Holy crap. In Brooklyn? Photos from around New York, says Tom. Giant fire in New Jersey. Really? Jeez. Over the Palisades. Other places in New Jersey and in Prospect Park, Brooklyn. Well, hopefully nobody's been injured or harmed. I feel as if that should be national news. I mean, maybe it is, but I just haven't been paying attention. That's wild. I've never heard anything about it all day until you guys are advising me right now. This is usually the spot. We usually stand right here on this corner and we watch the Christmas display right here. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do this year. I think last year's was the best. Last year almost didn't even look like it had anything to do with Christmas, but it was very, very cool. All right, here it is. This is the shot from Fifth Avenue. JC's Bitcoin 77,000. Is it back above 77,000 now? It was selling off a little bit today. Hawaii says, when does Saks Fifth Avenue's display go up? I'm actually not sure. I'm going to have to Google that. But it's usually smack dab right in the middle of the facade right here. I'm excited. Damn, Steve Young says 77,200 Bitcoin. That's insane. Really, really nuts. I mean, Rockefeller Center's really been showing off this year. I have some awesome photos of the entire facade of 30 Rockefeller Center lit up in red, white, and blue for the election. For those of you who joined us for our Walks on Wall Street 2024 election watch party, it was right here. It was a really fun time. Really fun time. We were watching MSNBC on the kind of the big jumbotrons. All right, we'll take one more look at the rink and then we'll head out and we'll check out the tree at Radio City Music Hall. Gary says, Tom, last year the tree came from North Carolina, but this year's is bigger. Thank you for that. I didn't know last year's came from the Carolinas. Wow, there's actually quite a few people ice skating tonight. Does anyone know what time it is? If it's early still, maybe we could go all the way to the Bryant Park Winter Village. I believe it closes at 10. If it's not 10 p.m., maybe we'll head over there and check it out. I actually have not walked through it yet this year live. At least not on our live show, but...
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Say hi.
Oh, hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. We watch you all the time. We're from
awesome.
Tennessee.
What's your name?
Rodney.
Oh, Rodney, nice.
Yeah,
Good
we
to
watch
meet
you all the time.
Awesome.
Go find us tonight.
Oh, thanks, man. How long are you guys here?
Just for 3 nights.
Oh, nice. Where are you staying? Just
The Hilton down in the 30.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah. I mean, if you need any suggestions on where to go, just shoot me an email.
Yeah, we come like 4 or 5 times. We always try to find you.
Oh, that's
We're always too late.
But thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, pleasure meeting you again. Pleasure. Pleasure meeting you. Thanks. Enjoy the city. Take care. That's nice. That's Rodney from the chat, all the way from Tennessee. Very cool. We have a few people who join in and watch us from Tennessee, which is awesome. So cheers to the great state of Tennessee. The home of Vanderbilt University. No. So JC says, is this the famous rink that Trump saved a long time ago? It is not. That one is in Central Park. We haven't seen that one yet this year either, but we'll check it out. Yeah, that one is in Central Park, very, very close to the Plaza Hotel. All right, let's try to head over. I think 6th Avenue is going to be a little bit of a buffer zone, so we may need to turn right around and head back to 5th, but we might as well give it a shot. We'll try to meander our way through the traffic. You're right, DC 322 Woolman Rink. Now, that sort of rink, in the summertime, it gets turned into like a tennis court or like a pickleball court, and it has stunning views of the city, unreal. So your backdrop is the Plaza Hotel, Central Park South, and all of the major buildings on Billionaires Row. It's just tough to get there at night because it's very dark. It's very dark in there.
I recently saw
New York.
Princess has the snow started. It's been like 70 degrees in New York. So a little bit too warm for the snow. Yeah, Matthews, it's nice to see life is still going on. It is definitely alive and well in New York. And you know, anecdotally, I mean, guys, if we want to talk about consumer spending, I mean, look at all the tourist activity out tonight in the city. And this isn't even really the peak holiday season yet. Looks like something or other is getting out at Radio City Music Hall. Okay, if we start to buffer, we'll just have to double back. Look at all these pedicabs. Holy crap, I don't think I've ever seen this many pedicabs in my life. I think there was some sort of comedy show going on tonight at Rockefeller Center. Oh no, that's there was a comedy show going on tonight at what's it called? Carnegie Hall. I think this may be the Rockettes Christmas Spectacular. Yeah, there was some comedy show, a very famous Asian comic that was at Carnegie Hall tonight. And I think this may be opening night to the Rockettes Christmas Spectacular. I believe that's what this is. Hawaii, she says, great show. I try to go every year. And it's not that expensive. It's honestly not. It's a good tradition. It's fun. Oh, no way. Steph UF says I'm at the Kipton Theta Hotel. Girls Weekend in New York City. How do you like the hotel? It's new, right? I think I've recommended that. I feel like I've recommended that on the stream before. But that hotel is very new, and it's quite, I should say it's quite modern and new. Arctic Paratrooper, cheers. Cosmo Scary says, how's the smoke outside? Can you still smell it? Well, Cosmo, I had no idea that there was any wildfires today at all. Which was weird because when I left the office today, I could taste smoke, but I just chalked it up to they were doing construction outside. I had no idea there was actual wildfire in New Jersey and in Brooklyn. I had no idea. But yeah, I can't really smell it now, but before, for sure. Crazy crowds, which is very good news for tourism. Hey, Paul, thank you so much for your very generous donations. Says, hey, Tom, been reading the newsletters. Wealth and knowledge for free. These lives as well, and thank you for the info. Still have to watch the Paul Tudor Jones documentary. Well, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it, and absolutely, I will continue to post the newsletter in perpetuity. And as always, I will never, ever, ever charge for any of our research. That will be the business model. So thanks so much for your support. You can kind of see the Christmas tree on top of Radio City. Pretty soon you're going to have those huge kind of Christmas bulbs right here. Right outside of 1251, they usually have those big red bulbs. I'm sure you guys recognize them.
Okay, we go on. Let's go.
I feel as if they should probably already be here, but who knows? All right, one more look uptown, and then we'll head downtown. I don't know if we could still catch Bryant Park. We'll try, but we'll see. Look at the line for Magnolia Bakery. The line for Magnolia stretches all the way around the block. It's crazy. What's up, John? I'm honestly quite surprised that we've been able to get through this section of 6th Avenue without any buffering. Del Frisco's is probably packed tonight. 1221 Avenue of the Americas. In the basement, the main retail, that's where Del Frisco's is. The building across the street is News Corporation. Leslie's is buffered once. It should be alright once we get past the Diamond District, which is 47th Street.
Holy shit, man.
If any of you guys watched the Neil Cavuto show on Fox Business, my boss was on there Friday afternoon, and they set up the studio live from our office. So if you want to know what our office looks like in the backdrop, you can just watch the latest interview with my boss. It's so funny seeing it on TV. It's like, I work there every single day. I don't know, it's kind of funny. Anyway, let's cross down this way. Wow, look at that backlog of taxi cabs going all the way up. New England crypto, I think we hit a new all-time record high right now for Bitcoin. I think I saw someone post that in the chat. Having a little bit of a weekend pump. Just good news for us. I'll take it. Hey, the FDNY, New York City Fire Department, is in the house. Papa Smurf OG. Speaking of fire, maybe you can give us an update what's going on with all these fires in Prospect Park in New Jersey. Hopefully you guys are staying safe. I had no idea about any of it until the chat was telling me about it. Yeah, Austin City Limits, that's true too. On Friday, the S&P 500 hit 6,000 for the first time in history. Crazy. It's just incredible to see the move that the S&P has made, you know, even since the COVID lows, right? 6,000 on the S&P. It's wild that within my lifetime, for sure, we'll probably see, I mean, with ease, within my lifetime, we'll probably see 10,000 on the S&P. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Man, the city is rocking tonight. Lena Sandoval is here. What's going on? Timothy James says Governor Hochul is taking density tax. Oh, he's talking density tax for Manhattan again. Do you mean the, what's it called? The congestion pricing stuff? I thought she put a squash to that temporarily because so many people were complaining. So we spent all the money on the infrastructure to put up the cameras for the congestion pricing, and now we don't even implement it. Maybe that's back on the table, who knows? I know JC says you don't buy Bitcoin to make money, you buy Bitcoin because it is money. The way I think about it is you have to think about the price of other things in Bitcoin, right? My favorite example is how many Bitcoin does it take you to buy a home, right? To buy the average home in America. I'll just use the median home, right? So the median price of a single family home in the United States is now over $400,000, which is pretty wild, right? That's the median single family home price in the US, over $400,000, which the dollar value continues to go up. But over time, right, if you price it in Bitcoin, how many full BTC it takes to acquire one house goes down over time, if that makes sense, right? Exactly. New England crypto is just about 5.2 BTC. Exactly. And there will be a day where it'll be like on parity. It'll be a 1-to-1, right? So if the median price of a home is 400,000, now it'll take you only one Bitcoin to acquire that home. Hey, what's up, NBA Elias? If you're just joining us, we did a quick little walk around to see the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center. Now we're off to see the Christmas tree at Bryant Park, the Winter Village. Not too sure if we're going to make it in time, but we'll try. I believe it closes its doors at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, but at least we'll get a good view in of the Empire State Building, and then we'll check out some of the windows at Macy's. But if you didn't know, today is the first day where we have the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. It arrived here at 7 a.m. They put it up, or they installed it, at about 9 a.m. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. This is always a crazy busy intersection. Papa Smurf says FDNY had a brush fire. Oh, in Brooklyn, got it. 60 firefighters and EMS were dispatched. Wow, God bless them. That's insane, a brush fire in Brooklyn. You really never think of that. Hey, what's up, Noah? Hey, Tom, hope all is well. Likewise. Some pretty interesting action in the markets, right? I think, Tesla's really taken off here. If you think about it, we've been calling, Tesla's been bottomed since April. This is going to be a monster move. Tesla usually moves like that, right? If you kind of study the move that Tesla made in the 2021 bull market, Tesla has these really long, drawn-out consolidations, and then you have these 100% plus moves. And I think we're just in probably inning one of that move now. And then obviously, Bitcoin, which is hitting a new record high, I think as we speak. Amazon looks good, Netflix looks good. My only concern, and I'm going to write about this on Thursday, I think this Trump pump, speaking of Trump, I think we have some Trump supporters here. The S&P has been really, really gapping up, and those gaps, especially in futures, whenever you have futures gaps, usually those will come down and fill those gaps. So things are extended, but also things are just starting to break out. So hopefully we'll just get a nice rotation. Also, small caps have done really well too. I think we closed right at the high of the week for the IWM. All right, here we are at Bryant Park, Winter Village. Speaking of Wall Street, since it's the weekend, usually all of us have a little bit more free time. I'll recommend this podcast again. It's not the Stan Druckenmiller one, but I will recommend that one again. The CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald with Anthony Pompliano, the Pomp podcast. You got to check that. You got to check that out and really, really have a listen. Cantor Fitzgerald, he's a really, really funny guy. But just talking about efficiency in government and how that can spill over to economic growth, really does a deep dive on tariffs, right? I would say the number one most controversial issue between Democrats and Republicans this election cycle, as it relates to the economy, has really been the tariff issue, right? You have really strong candidates on one side of the aisle saying that tariffs are kind of going to crush the economy. You have candidates on the other side of the aisle talking about the latter. I think the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald really does a good job of explaining while cutting out all the political noise. So check out CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald on the Pomp podcast. They're also a huge Bitcoin custodian. All right, let's check out the ice skating rink here. Let's see if they have the signs that say beware of pickpockets. Ah, they do. So they have the signs beware of pickpockets. Let's see, the thing about pickpockets is they only could steal, worthless fiat currency, right? It's impossible for them to steal any Bitcoin because my private key is in my brain. That's the best, one of the best value propositions. Unconfiscatable asset, in theory, you could store hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, in wealth in your head just by memorizing your private keys. You can just carry it around with you in your head. So the pickpockets can steal all the fiat that they want. Can't steal my sats. What the heck was that? That sounded like... I actually felt that. And not only did I hear that, I felt that in my core. Whatever the heck that thing was. I think that was a firework that went off. What the heck? All right, here's a close-up shot of the rink. Wow, this looks awesome. Yeah, OY's house. This was probably some scaffolding beam. I don't know what it was, but that was crazy loud. This is the Bank of China over there. Now this thing is the lodge. I think there's a pretty long line to get in too. Look at how long the line is to get in. It goes all the way up the stairs. Hey, Patient Lobster says greetings from Israel. Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you're staying safe. Now that, not to get political, but now that we have the DJT, I think things will be a little bit safer over there in the Middle East. Thank God. This is the Bryant Park Christmas tree here. This is the lodge. What do you guys think? I think they did a pretty good job this year. All right, let's do one lap around the village. Tree smells good.
Yo.
I think these are like private igloos, which is quite interesting. This is looking back towards Bank of America Tower. NBA Lies. Tom, thanks for the reference on the Stan Druckenmiller podcast. His advice of getting into finance only for the money will not, and not passion for research will create misery is perfect advice. Yeah, I agree. And with those kind of people, I mean, if you think about all of the greats, right? Like Stan Druckenmiller, Paul Tudor Jones, like they're obsessed with the market. So like market's obsessed, right? It's almost like they're an addict. It's like they're addicted to it. Hey, what's up, Matthew? Good to see you. This is One Vanderbilt in the distance here. Stephen Schwarzman building. All right, let's head our way towards the exit, and we will go by Macy's Herald Square. Yeah, Hawaii. If you want to try that spot, it's right behind this building. It's next to the Joe Coffee. That's a good spot. It's pricey, it's expensive, but everything here is expensive. It's really good. As we head out, we might as well walk by it. Wow, Andrew says I just started Brad Jacobs' book, How to Make a Few $1 Billion. That's a really good book, and that guy's a really, really smart guy. Anybody who's interested in private equity, that's a very good book to read. How to Make a Few $1 Billion. He is like a leverage buyout kind of guy. Also another good book, speaking of Stephen Schwarzman and the Stephen Schwarzman building, it's called What It Takes by Stephen Schwarzman, and it kind of outlines how he started Blackstone with his partner. And I think Stephen Schwarzman served in was it the Obama administration? I forget. But yeah, it's another good book if you're interested in that type of business stuff, buying out companies, improving operations, cutting costs, increasing shareholder value, I guess is what they would call it. Alright, one more shot of the Empire, and then we'll head out. Solo says, what's the weather like? I'd say maybe like 55 degrees. It's a little windy. Speaking of books, anybody read any good books lately? Any good reads? Somebody want to recommend? But speaking of books, one of our good friends in the chat, Theo, is coming out with her third book. I wish she was in the chat tonight. I'd give her a shout out and have her introduce her book, but she's written 2 books. She's coming out with a third. Pretty impressive. Solos is Thinking Fast and Slow. I'll check it out. Truths by Vivek. All right, let's exit Bryant Park now, everybody. We'll make a left. And we'll start to head towards 34th Street. Man, it's getting crazy windy now. Emmanuel's is the Quants. Esmeralda's is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Be Useful. I'll check it out. Reggie 44's is Art of the Deal. That's actually a very good book. I have that book in my archives. Someone's talking about NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is the only Mag 7 company who has not reported earnings. I think the average earnings beat by companies in the S&P 500 this earnings season has been about 7.6% surprise to the upside. The only Magnificent Seven company that missed on revenue expectations was, guess which company? I'll give you guys a hint. What was the only company in the Mag 7, right? Big mega cap tech growth stocks that missed their revenue expectations, which still was an amazing quarter by the company. As we're standing outside of this really, really slick matte black Cybertruck, West 40th Street and 6th. Yeah, Tesla, you're right. You are correct. Someone says ETH 3000. Now, Ethereum has really been lagging. I don't own any Ethereum, but I think for a trade, it'll probably gap back to record highs, but I do not own any ETH. Now, from being involved in the space for quite some time, the cycles are always very similar. At the very, very beginning of what I like to call a all-inclusive cryptocurrency bull cycle, the number one thing you see is Bitcoin dominance climb to a new high. Okay, so you see Bitcoin dominance make a new high. You see Bitcoin take off, break out into new all-time record highs, and then you have everybody complaining about, oh, what the heck? What's going on with ETH? What's going on with the altcoins? I'm getting crushed. Once those people capitulate, right, because they're not patient, then the rotation comes out of Bitcoin, right, which usually coincides with Bitcoin correcting to a major moving average, and then those profits get rotated in to the nonsense coins. I'm not a big fan of Ethereum, but I mean this cycle, that will probably make a new high. But it's very, very, you see the same thing every time. You have a new high in Bitcoin dominance, a new high in Bitcoin. Bitcoin runs, everyone who's in alts get very, very upset because they think they're missing out on the gains. They sell their bottom of the barrel bargain basement price Ethereum to buy Bitcoin at the top. We rotate into Ethereum, makes a new high, we sell, then we rotate back into the BTC. It's the same if it's the same exact setup in every cycle. Every cycle. But I do not own Ethereum. Now, that may change, assuming Gary Gensler's out of there, right? And we have a new SEC chair that puts out clear parameters and guardrails and guidance around the space, then maybe. But so far, no. I mean, this building went up fast, right, guys? Look at this. West 37th Street and 6th. These new condos went up crazy fast. Oh! Gosh, this Uber almost got absolutely smoked by this truck. Oh my God. That was like life flashing before your eyes moment. I was about to take a dive to the left. I was literally about to dive out of the way to the left because I thought that truck was going to run up on the sidewalk. Jeez, man. And see, everyone just rushes to the red light. Isn't that wild? The guy is speeding up Avenue of the Americas on a Saturday night in gridlock traffic. It's ridiculous. Andrew O'Donovan's was last week, that guy getting clocked and chased down the street. Guy getting clocked and chased down the street. What is that in reference to? Which guy? Here? Oh my God! Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was Halloween. See, so much crazy stuff happens on a daily basis in New York that's totally out of the news cycle for me within like 5 to 8 days. But yes, you're right. That was a wild one we caught on film. I totally forgot about that. But honestly, I'm not. It may sound crazy. I see stuff like that all the time. Just, on my day-to-day excursions through New York, particularly after midnight. You'll see the occasional ground and pound, snatch and grab. It's, it is what it is. But you're right, yeah, that was Halloween. I think that was at the very, very end of our Halloween stream. Totally forgot about that. Oh, God. Anyway, guys, this is Herald Square, Macy's, and we officially have all of the Christmas lights. Look at that. That looks awesome. Let's cross the street safely. Hopefully we can cross safely, and we will check it out. Now you can see all the windows are blacked out because they have not yet unveiled the windows. Let's go to the corner here and then make a full loop around Herald Square. I feel like someone should go back throughout our entire channel history and pull out all of the crazy things we've seen live on the streets of New York City over the years. We could probably fill up a good 20 to 30 minute video with all the crazy stuff we've seen. This is actually my first time seeing this too. This is awesome, look at that. This year the theme is Give Love. Oh, that's right, Tatted Tees is the Thanksgiving crash 2 years ago. That was a wild crash. That was like That was a hit and run crash with the NYPD. That was wild. I remember that. I'm sure that guy probably got arrested at some point.
Please broke my camera. You camera me?
What happened?
Broke my camera.
No, sorry, I don't speak English.
Broke my camera.
Yeah, sorry about that. My English is not that good.
No, why you camera? Broke camera me?
It's over there.
Who?
Yeah, my English is not that good. Sorry.
Broke my camera. Broke.
Okay.
Picture camera broke.
Uh-huh.
Broke
Right,
my
right.
camera.
Yeah, could you get off me?
Off. Off.
Right.
Picture. My picture off.
Uh-huh.
Picture my off.
Yeah. Sorry, could you get away from me?
No. Picture off.
Uh-huh.
Why you camera me?
Yeah, can you let go of me?
Off picture.
Uh-huh.
Jackie, beat you. You off picture.
Could you get away from me?
You family.
Hey, you can,
You're talking garbage. Why camera? You bitch mother camera.
all right, have a good day. Could you get away from me, please?
Bro. You're talking us.
Take care. And we were just speaking about crazies, too. Well, we'll go to the other side of Macy's. We'll do a little spin move on her. We'll go around to the front. Man, and the smell on that lady was, oh my God, terrible. I'm gonna have to wash my jacket when I get home. Let me adjust the brightness. Oh God, I still have a link. Hold on, let me see if I can get rid of that smell somehow. That's true. Mark Francis says you gotta watch out for the fleas. Who knows? I'll probably throw this in the wash right when I get home. Cosmo Scare says that's why I carry pepper spray. Oh, I can never pepper spray her. My God. No way. I just wait for her to let go and just walk away. I think that's a little bit too brutal. She's just crazy. She just probably has some mental issues. Anyway, this side of Macy's looks fantastic. Not gonna lie though, she packs a pretty powerful punch for being like a 70-year-old lady. I was taking some blows there to the arm. So I give her credit, she's actually pretty strong. You know, I mean, if you're roaming the streets of New York, you gotta be tough. I mean, that felt like Iron Mike Tyson on the side. I know, Yusuf's he runs the streets. Let's see if the Penn project has any holiday stuff on. Future Endeavor says burn your jacket. Can't burn the jacket. We'll wash the jacket, we won't burn it. Well, I guess TBD. This is an awesome shot of Macy's in the Empire State Building. NBA Live says, Tom, you should have told her the Fed cut rates this month. They did. They cut 25 basis points. I mean, it is funny, but it's also sad, kind of. Because there's a lot of people like that out on the streets in New York. No, I haven't. Andrew says, have I ever skated the original Brooklyn banks? I used to skate under the Manhattan Bridge a lot. Let's see if we can go right through Penn 2 without buffering. I think we will because it doesn't look too busy. I don't think there's any shows getting out. I remember when this retail unit was a Modell's. Anybody remember Modell's? I don't even know if that store's still around anymore. Yeah, Ivan's OG skate spot in New York City. Great shout out. Yeah, right under the Manhattan Bridge. Man, I haven't been there since, oh my God, 2015 maybe? I'd say 2015, 2016. I may have to go down and just pay homage there. I used to watch a lot of like New York City underground skaters. That was like the number one spot where they would film content. It was like right under there. David's is the David Gilmour Show at Madison Square Garden is getting out in the next 10 minutes. I think you're right. Look at all the pedicabs lined up. Now, did anybody see the article from the New York Post talking about how Trump and Kathy Hochul were talking about a revitalization of Penn Station? I didn't get to read the entire article, but I was thinking to myself, I'm like, Venato's already on that. I mean, they've already done an amazing job, but perhaps they're talking about the New Jersey Transit side. But this Penn 2 project is all of the work of Venato. And this is awesome. Super modern, clean, tons of Class A office tower space. Hey, Arsenal fan 13, thank you so much for your $10 donation. This is Hey Tom regarding your positive thesis on San Francisco. You should check out Peter Santinello's most recent video on the city. It was pretty interesting. I will check it out. Arsenal fan, thank you for your support. I appreciate it very, very much. Let me take a screenshot of that. Let me see. But yeah, frankly put, I'm still very bullish on San Francisco. Particularly with this Trump win. And a lot of the voters in the state of California voted for tougher on crime. And that's really the only missing variable to San Francisco, right? San Francisco is a beautiful city, a great climate. The intellectual capital there is unbelievable. The VC market is still very robust. So if you can solve the crime issue, which the crime issue is a corruption issue because the state of California is fanning the flames of all the crime in Cali. So once, the Newsom swamp state of California is, drained, I mean, you're going to see residential real estate prices in San Francisco Bay Area. I mean, just go to Pluto. That's the truth. That's the truth. Because you still have the VC market. You still have the VC market firing on all cylinders in San Francisco. And the lion's share of founders still choose the Bay Area, by and large, to create businesses. New York City is getting up there. I'd say probably a number 2, but San Francisco is the number 1 is so far away. It's just in the culture there. So I agree. This is a good shot of the Empire State Building. Yeah, Louis MJ says the smash and grabs in San Francisco is out of control. A lot of my buddies have been telling me that. They're like, if you park your car on the street, there's a very high probability, probably like a 50-50 shot that someone's going to break your windows. Like, you can't operate like that, and I think people are sick of it. TK Porsche says Governor Gavin Newsom has called a special legislative session to work on bills to limit Trump policy effectiveness in the state. To me, that's just that's just craziness. Sabrina Fair says, I lived that in 2018. My car windows were broken a month apart, both in affluent neighborhoods. Kimani says, hey Tom, it's like that here in Los Angeles too, and crazy theft of catalytic converters. Oh, that's right. I think we were talking about that. Really, yours have been stolen twice. And so walk me through that. This is, we can get in a whole rabbit hole. That's why I think a lot of the crime statistics are just total nonsense, right? Are total BS. Because a lot of the crime goes unreported, and it does. It really, really does. Because people know that there's gonna be nothing that anybody could do about it, right? I mean, just even on the streets of New York, I've seen people just get sucker punched on the streets, random attacks, and everyone's like, meh. If we call the NYPD, it's just going to be a big circle jerk. They're going to say, we'll file a report, and nobody's really going to do anything. Nobody's going to follow up, so nobody reports it. I've seen a guy get slashed on the subway, and it just kind of, I can't say for sure. I don't know if the cops were called, but he just got off, and he was just like nursing his wounds. And everyone's like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm all right. So I think a lot of the crime stats are skewed when people kind of lose faith in the criminal justice system to say, look, even if I report this crime, nobody's going to do anything about it, and it's just going to waste my time. That's kind of how I feel in New York City, right? Generally speaking, New York City is a very safe city, like extremely, extremely safe here. But if I see some crazy stuff going down, I've gotten to the point where it's like, I'm not going to take time out of my day because it's going to blow my whole day, right? Like if I randomly get sucker punched in the face, hopefully that'll never happen, and for some reason I can't return fire, I'm not going to report it to the police because it's more waste of time for me, right? And I know that they're never going to do anything about it, so. David says, I feel 100x safer in New York versus Portland, San Francisco, or Seattle. I feel as if New York, New York is very, very safe. The chances of something happening to you here is very, very slim. I think I see more stuff than the average New Yorker just because I'm out so much, right? Like I'm out from 8 a.m. all the way to like 1 o'clock in the morning. Running between appointments, walking the streets, filming things, doing this live show. So I cover more ground. So statistically, if you're walking around the city for like 6 hours a day, you're probably going to see more stuff. and more crazy stuff. But yeah, I agree. Perhaps the feeling of safety here is elevated by just the amount of people, the population density, right? I mean, if you walk to work in Midtown Manhattan, totally safe, totally fine. Nothing is ever going to happen. I mean, you may have some random crazy people barking at you, but I mean, that's like a non-issue. Hey, Soho Joe, what's going on? What do we have tomorrow? This is the epic... Oh no, this isn't a fight. What is this, Jones... Jones something?
Can I get in this? No.
UFC 309.
It's JC Chen.
Yeah, DC 322 says just be smart and you'll be alright. For sure. Watching Dana White at the what was it, the election party was kind of funny. All right, let's head over to Hudson Yards since we're here. We haven't been to the Hudson Yards in quite some time. We do have some new updates. I think we talked about it, but these two big buildings here, 1 Manhattan Square and 2 Manhattan Square. I believe the newest lease that was just signed, record-breaking lease, was by quantitative hedge fund D.E. Shaw, which I used to work one floor below them at 1166 Avenue of the Americas. Apparently, they vacated that building. They've terminated their lease, and now they have a really, really nice spot here at the Hudson Yards. I believe 1 Manhattan West. And it's funny because my really good friend, who is a big-time chef in the city, he was the co-owner of Mel's near the Chelsea Market, MELS. He just took a job at D.E. Shaw, not to be a quantitative. He is the head chef at D.E. Shaw. And it just really goes to show, the big tech companies, the big, hedge funds, the quants, even the big consulting firms, they have to be so competitive, right? They have to have the nicest Class A office space. They have to give all these amenity packages to their employees because the competition is just so stiff. So if you are an employee of D.E. Shaw, you have quite literally 24/7 if you're at the office. You just have a little tablet like an iPad and you can order whatever you want and the kitchen will bring it to you. And like really good food too, by the way. Oh, I heard about that. Louis MJ says Tyson is fighting one of the Paul brothers. I believe that's Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson here at Madison Square Garden. I think that's soon. I believe that's this month, I think. And that's going to be streaming on Netflix. Netflix, new all-time highs. I think that stock's going to run quite nicely. Wow, look at all this. Hey, Dennis is my Hudson Yards office. Offices are insanely nice. Everything expensive, marble and hyper modern. Yeah. It's so interesting to talk about commercial real estate in New York, right? Because if you just read articles, you kind of, hear the doom and gloom that, you're having an all-out collapse in the commercial real estate market in New York City, but it doesn't really tell the full story. It's going to sound crazy what I'm saying, but we're seeing record price per square foot, rentable price per square foot, leasings in the Class A market. I would say anywhere from $150 a rentable square foot to $200 a rentable square foot, that's crazy money. But you're seeing a severe collapse in the Class B and C market. So essentially you have a flight to quality. Nobody wants to be in these old offices anymore. They want top of the line, high end. You can think about 425 Park, which Citadel is in right now. That's adjacent to 432. You can think about 270 Park Avenue, which is Jamie Dimon's new office tower. These right here, I think EY is here, NHL, Accenture. And these are really, really beautiful. And these companies are willing to pay a premium for a little bit less of a square footage print, but very nice office space. Now 50 Hudson Yards, where we're going to be walking to right now, that is BlackRock. And I believe they just signed an extension to, I'm not sure the exact square footage, so I don't want to say it. I'll just say more square footage at 50 Hudson Yards. But look at how modern this looks inside. And pretty cool views too. Now speaking of BlackRock, the IBIT, or the IBIT, the iShares Bitcoin ETF Trust, I think took in over $1 billion just on Friday alone, and it was the fastest ETF to hit 30 billion in AUM in history. I think in second place, well now in second place, was the JEPI, and then GLD, which is the gold ETF. NBA lies. Earlier this week, the New York Fed sounded the alarm about commercial real estate, seeking alpha article on Friday. Well, a lot of the older buildings, like I said, these regional banks hold a lot of the paper on that. So, if I had to make a forecast, you'll most likely have a continuation of the culling of regional banks. And then, that sacrificial lamb will just be offered up to Jamie Dimon and all the other big Wall Street investment banks. And I'm afraid we'll probably turn into Canada. Well, not literally, but it'll probably be a similar type of deal where you have like 4 big banks and that's it. And then like nothing else. Because there'll just be like such cannibalization. But this is BlackRock right here. .50 Hudson Yards. This is 10th Avenue now. Now the financial sector is doing really well. I think Goldman Sachs on election night, well, I should say the day after the election, closed up 9%, new record highs. We've been writing about this. If you guys kind of like the financial talk we have each and every night, let's go inside. It's actually kind of windy. We do write a free investing newsletter for the group. If you want to read it, you could just scan the QR code on the screen, punch in your email, and you'll have essentially a link to our Substack. We publish our equity research every other Thursday right at the closing bell. It's a great free way to support the stream, and we have about 2 years of archived research there. So I believe about a month ago we did a deep dive and we wrote a complete bull thesis on the boutique investment banks. So about like 6 months ago, we were very, very bullish the boutiques like the Houlihan Lokis, Jeffries of the world, Evercore and the like, on a resurgence in the investment banking business. And I would like to make just one prediction. I think with Trump, you'll probably see deal-making activity pick up substantially. So deal-making was already starting to pick up, but I think with Trump, you'll see an explosion of M&A. If deals want to get done, it's going to get done. So the bread and butter of the investment banking business is the fee income, is the fees. If there's no deals, there's no money coming in, right? So earnings estimates, I think for Goldman Sachs are up another 25% next year. The banks look healthy. If you think about, JP Morgan, Goldman, they're doing really good. So yeah, check out our Substack. If you can't scan the QR code, you can just type !news, NEWS, and it'll take you right there. But for now, we are in the shops at Hudson Yards. This place is really nice. It's so clean in here, so sleek. The Hudson Yards is like I always explain it like this. It's like a mini city within New York City. Does anybody here know any of the updates on Related's plan to expand the Hudson Yards? Now, we were talking about they were going to expand a casino, a public school, and a hotel. If you go all the way over, right, by the Jacob Javits Center, you can see the new construction site for where Related is going to do their expansion plans, but I haven't really heard much. Anybody know any specific updates on that? As you know, in my view, I'm not a big fan of a casino being at Hudson Yards, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't want to project that on anybody else. Back in the day, they wanted to propose a casino in Times Square. I thought that was going to be a horror show. I just don't think it'll fit, in my view. Now, there are casinos in New York City, but they're out by, I think, Jamaica, Queens, near the airport. And I think those casinos are owned and operated by Genting. Genting, I believe, is Genting Singaporean? Anyway, now they used to own a ton of land. I think they do. I'll have to look this up when I get back to the office. But Genting owns a huge plot of land by the Kaseya Center in downtown Miami. Oh, you're right, Malaysian. You're right, Andrew. You're right. I was thinking Singapore. No, you're spot on. Yeah, you're right. Whatever happened to that deal, by the way? Wasn't Genting going to offload that huge plot by the Kaseya Center, which is the old FTX, that cryptocurrency scam, that FTX arena, which is now? I'm gonna look into that when I get back to the office. Jim Rockford says Mark Cuban for president. Mark Cuban, Bill Ackman. Who are the other billionaires that were battling it out this election cycle? Chamath Palihapitiya. I think Chamath. I like Chamath, but I don't appreciate what he did with his whole SPAC scam, which I think it's appropriate to call it a scam because these are really, really smart guys. I mean, Chamath was one of the first 10 employees at Facebook, or one of the first 50. Minted himself a billionaire, so that he's not a stupid guy. He knows what he's doing, and he knows all of his SPAC deals that he did were dog shit. Excuse my language, but all of those projections were nonsense. He knew they were nonsense, but he did the deals anyway because he made a ton of money. I don't appreciate that. Now, that whole SPAC mania of 2021 was wild. Most of those companies are trading like 90% 90% in the red from all-time highs. They're just completely bankrupt and delisted in and of themselves. I think Chamath's firm is Social Capital, something like that. And the moment, do you guys remember that article that came out where they said the moment that, I think Goldman said they won't even do SPAC deals anymore because there was some sort of legislation that says they could be held liable if the companies don't perform as promised on the revenue projections and the earnings estimates. And Goldman's like, yeah, we're not going to do any of those deals anymore. We're not going to underwrite any of those deals. That's how you know it was all nonsense. Oh, Stan, you're correct. Yeah, Genting owns Resorts World. Now, there's a Resorts World, I don't know why I can't say that, in Queens, I think right near the airport. This is what Hudson Yards used to look like, the entire thing. This is the West Side Yard for the Long Island Railroad. And then this is the Javits Center. This is that Equinox Hotel. And this is the Vessel. The Vessel is open now again, right? Ivan says that's where Hillary conceded the 2016 presidential election. Well, that's where she abandoned everybody and didn't even come out and at least address her voter base, which is not to get political, but I didn't appreciate that either from Kamala. It's like, you know, if you're getting killed and you lose, you can't just cancel your speaking event, you know, when everyone's waiting for you and then show up, you know, like 24 hours later. Alan says car market is really heating up, Tom. I know you ask about it occasionally. That's an interesting data point because I feel as if the residential real estate market in New York City is really heating up. We've done 4 deals in contract, just over the last little over 30 days. And it's interesting because interest rates haven't come down at all. If anything, they've went up. Since the Fed now has cut by 75 basis points, the first rate cut was 50 basis points. The one we got last week on Thursday was 25. But the bond market is getting hammered. I mean, we've had a pan sell-off in the bond market, and rates all across the curve are going up. If you look at the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield, I think we're at, 4.35%, which has pushed the 30-year fixed over 7%. So interest rates are higher now than before 75 basis points worth of cuts. We spoke about the FOMC meeting, which was I think it was a bit hilarious how Powell, and I kind of felt bad for him because going into the meeting, you know that Powell knew he was going to get hammered with questions about Trump. And all of the questions were, hey, do you think you're going to lose your job? Hey, Fed Chair Powell, do you think you're going to get fired? Do you think Trump is going to want you gone? Like, going into that, Powell was like, oh, this is going to be an absolute drag. Oh, let's actually go by BlackRock for a minute. And Powell, just look at his one-word answers, no. No. Yeah, he doesn't. Trump doesn't have the authority to fire me. No. It was hilarious. Dennis's interest rates are going up because Trump is inflationary. I think interest rates are going up. I don't know the reason, but both candidates would have been inflationary in my view. Like I said, I think it's going to be more of the same in terms of government spending. You're going to have more deficits, and that's why we're seeing this price action in Bitcoin. I mean, I think Bitcoin, as we're talking, is hitting new all-time record highs right now, like literally live. And we've been writing about that a fair amount. Now, the tariff thing, it's not so black and white. And I think the way the tariff argument is being made on both sides is a little bit disingenuous for people who are not too privy of it, frankly put, right? We don't have really enough time to cover it tonight, but I'll go into it a little bit just because I think it's an important conversation. A tariff strategy, especially a very, very high tariff strategy, right? If Trump wants to be, like, to use his own words, super obnoxious and have extremely high tariffs, right? Those are not my words, those are Trump's words. Super obnoxious high tariffs. It's going to take some time for that strategy to work, because a lot of new trade deals need to be made. You got to allow time for the manufacturing to return back to the United States. So short term, correct, it's going to be more expensive. Products and services will probably go up in the short term, but over the long term, it'll benefit the United States in a major way. Now, here's the problem. Nobody wants to admit that. So Trump only has 4 years. So let's just assume that the Democrats take control in another 4 years. All of the tariff stuff that Trump is going to do over this 4 years is going to be for nothing. And we're just going to have higher prices for 4 years and see none of the benefit after the 4 years. You need to have a total cooperation on both sides to say, look, we need to be in this. If you're going to do it, you got to do it. Okay, you can't really go half-ass with this. Excuse my language. And you got to be able to come to terms with the American people and say, look, we need to endure a period in the country of short-term pain, long-term gain. The problem is you don't win an election by telling the truth. Does that make sense? It may sound harsh, but that is the truth. You do not win an election by telling the truth, okay? And politicians' number one goal is to get elected. So if you were to actually reason with the American people and say, guys, when I'm elected, we're going to go through a little bit of contraction, okay? We're going to go through a little bit of hard time, but we need to hunker down, because if we do this and we get through this, we're going to come out on the other side much, much better than we started off. But that's just, it's not how things work. That's why we've been in this environment where we've been essentially kicking the can down the road in perpetuity, right? Hence the acronym A Decade of ZERP, right? The Federal Reserve has left interest rates near zero for a decade, had to raise them because of the inflationary boom after COVID, but that's kind of what gets me a little bit scared about the whole Trump tariff thing, because obviously it'll be short-term pain for America, but long-term exponential gain. But you're gonna need to let it cook for a few years, to actually renegotiate those deals, get world leaders to come back to the negotiating table, to say, look, you're not going to rip us off anymore, okay? But it doesn't take a day thing, right? It's not a 2-day thing. It's not even a 4-year thing. That's like an 8-year stretch. If you really want to bring manufacturing back to the United States, that's not going to be a 2-year thing. It's not going to be a 4-year thing. It's going to be much longer, much, much longer than that. But again, the problem I have with it is on both sides, it hasn't been explained truthfully. Like Mark Cuban will just go on The View, which I didn't even know anybody watches The View anymore, and just say, look, tariffs bad, it's gonna make everything more expensive, without providing the proper context, right? Kind of same thing with the Trump, is like, oh no, tariffs are gonna be the greatest thing ever, it's gonna be an immediate, change, which is also not true. And that's why we've been, pound the table, get a full position on in Bitcoin. And honestly, gold, look, 6 months leading up to the election, gold broke out from 1900, ran to about 2,700 new all-time record highs, and you have Bitcoin doing the same thing. What is the market telling you, right? It's telling you that you may have a wave 2 in inflation, and you're going to have government spending regardless of the administration. The Harris administration was going to spend like crazy, and the Trump administration is going to need to spend like crazy as well. All right, let's go back inside. Now, the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald has a little bit of a different take on the whole tariff situation than I do. And maybe he's right, and maybe he will be. He's a lot smarter than me. He's a lot wealthier than me, so maybe we should listen to him. I'm totally open to that. Check out the Cantor Fitzgerald CEO interview with Anthony Pompliano. So if you just go to YouTube and type in Cantor Fitzgerald CEO, Pomp Podcast, P-O-M-P Podcast. He is on the Trump transition team. The podcast is great. He talks about 9/11. I think Cantor was the number one company who lost the most amount of people. It's a heartbreaking story. He kind of goes into it. I think also Marsh McLennan lost a ton of people, it's just horrible because my old office at 1166 Avenue of the Americas, in the courtyard, we have this like a really nice tribute to the people who died on 9/11, and it's like an overwhelming amount of people. I think it was Cantor and Marsh McLennan who lost the most, which is it's heartbreaking stuff. Anyway, not to go off on a totally sidebar, but that is a very good interview if you want to hear both sides of the argument for the tariff argument, which I think is explained in a more truthful, reasoning way, because he's a business guy, right? So once again, check out that interview. Pineapple Water says, Tom, it's not about the tariffs themselves. It's about negotiating with the fear of tariffs in the background in many situations. Maybe. And look, at the end of the day, another thing is nobody really knows what's going to work or not. You have to try something. But what we do know is that what we're doing now is not working. To an extent. But, this could also spiral a whole conversation with if we think globalization is good or not, right? And there's a lot to be said, right? There's a very, very good argument to be made that the globalization of the last decade has solidified, relatively speaking, world peace. Now, I know many of you are like, what? World peace? There's wars everywhere. I get it, but I'm talking about all-out World War III nuclear war, right? Because our supply chains and our economies, that was close. Our supply chains and our economies are so interconnected, right? And we definitely found that out with the COVID virus, right? China essentially crashed the global economy for 2 years. Supply chains weren't back on track for like 2.5 years after COVID. And that's why you're seeing this big push globally for a reshoring of our supply chain, right? The Canadian government's been very outspoken about this too, but particularly the US, right? If you think about the Biden administration with the CHIPS and Science Act, a big push with that was to get a lot of our manufacturing capacity for chips, right, fabs and all that, back to the US. Because without, being politically incorrect, but with being real, you can't afford to have another COVID crash the world economy and print another $2-3 trillion. So if something like that happens, we need to have our own infrastructure here in the United States. And I think Intel, is it Intel or I forget the company, is building a plant near Syracuse, New York, in upstate. Or maybe it's Oswego. Is it Oswego or is it? It's somewhere up there. But again, that takes time too. That takes time as well. But if there's one thing that COVID taught us, it's that from just a national security point of view, you got to bring a lot of that chip manufacturing here to the US. Moonlight says, was it not AMD? I don't think it was AMD. Bryant says Intel was in Ohio. Oh, Micron Technology is the one in upstate New York. Got it. Ticker symbol MU. Now, to kind of get back to the point about the globalization essentially preventing nuclear war and world peace, is that since the supply chains are so bifurcated and broken up all over the world, if China were to invade Taiwan, that would be at the detriment of China. And a lot of people don't really get that. And that's why I've been in the camp to say that China will never make a move on Taiwan, right? Because number one, the economic state of China is so piss poor, it's embarrassing, right? The PBOC, the People's Bank of China, is throwing everything they got at this market. I mean, the stimulus package that the PBOC is throwing out there to essentially save the economy and save the Chinese housing market is absolutely unprecedented. So China is in no position economically to go start a war with Taiwan. Okay, it's just not going to happen. And President Xi is a really sharp guy and a really, really smart guy. Now, a lot of people get upset with me when I say that, President Xi is smart or Putin is smart. They think I'm like supporting dictators. No, you can say someone is smart. I'm not saying that what he's doing is ethical or he's a good person, right? But if you have someone that can hammer fist control 1 billion people, he's not a stupid person, right? So that's why I think he would never make a full-on move to Taiwan, because that would totally disrupt the global supply chain of chips. And if you want to get more philosophical, I don't think the Chinese are warmongers. I really don't. I think they want peace. NBA Elias says, Tom, maybe China is becoming the new Japan. Maybe. Man, look at how pretty this shot is here. Funky Child says upstate New York has all the top secret American semiconductor companies. Moonlight says Taiwan is home to a lot of technological manufacturing, most notably TSMC, Taiwan Semi, yep. Now, a lot of the chip design, like the best chip design in the world, that intellectual property, that IP is here in the US. It's the manufacturing that is outsourced, right? So if you think about, there's a really good mini documentary series on YouTube about semiconductors and the semiconductor market, but more specifically, the semiconductor supply chain, right? From going from the chip design to the manufacturing to the distribution. It's really interesting. I forget the name. If you give me a minute, I'll remember the name of it. I think it's called How We Got Here. I think it's called How We Got Here. It's like a mini docu-series on semiconductors. If that's not the appropriate title, I'll have to figure it out and then give it to you guys tomorrow night. This is a pretty good shot of Madison Square Garden too. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. Also, if you guys enjoy the kind of business talk, the market talk that we have each and every night, we do write a free investing newsletter. It's called the Behind the Street newsletter. You can subscribe for free. That is our Substack, just by scanning the QR code on your screen, punching in your email, or typing !news, NEWS, in the chat. We're going to be sending out our next piece on Thursday. But until then, I'm going to sign off for tonight. I had no idea we were streaming for 2 hours already. I got to get home. I have an early start tomorrow, but we will be back here live tomorrow night at 8:45. So Stephen Bate, appreciate it. Sally Muhammad, Austin City Limits, Professor Dario, thank you. Funky Child, Hawaii, cheers to you. Mark Francis 076, Chloe, Smoke, Tatted T, O Wise Owl, Alan, Andrew O'Donovan, thank you so much. Reggie 44, Chris, Jadelson, Doc 7, Blue Sky, Chinook Winds, Esmeralda, Philip, Mike G, Mr. Central Park West, 15 Central Park West himself, TK Porsche, 303 family, I appreciate you. Andy Annyeonghaseyo from Korea, Arsenal Fan 13. Guys, have a good weekend. We will see you tomorrow. Signing off from New York. Take care.